Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
What's up?
Feels good to be back, dude.
We back.
We are back.
How was that
And you-
vacation, Abe?
It's wonderful. I was in the beautiful Philadelphia greater region.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go on
Mai Tais.
vacation.
Sipping Mai Tais by the Schuylkill River.
Listen. We got a fall guy. Use them, dude. It's fine.
Dude, you know what I've been doing the past couple days?
What's that?
I've been digging 2.5 feet holes in my backyard.
Wide or
And
deep?
before we deep, before we get further, just want to do a quick check-in. YouTube live, good to go. On my end, it's doing a little funky stuff, but that might just
Good
be
on
my.
me.
I think it's good on me.
All right, cool. So I've been digging 2.5 feet deep holes, 8-inch wide.
Not Shia LaBeouf.
And remember I told you I was gonna do it, and I see these people doing the hand digger, the post hole digger with the 2-sided shovel, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna be that idiot. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a nice auger with a motor on it, and you slam it in and you dig it.
Busted out.
Busted it out. I got one hole halfway dug in 4 hours.
That's what's
wasted
up.
wasted a whole rental that I rented that thing. And I almost a couple times if you go in and you get snagged, it doesn't just stop. The motor keeps spinning. So if the blade can't spin,
You're spinning.
then the top thing is spinning.
Wow,
I almost shattered my kneecap so many times.
Hell yeah.
So I was like,
little slummy meat spin.
how many spins did you get when you went to that
That's a
site?
great question. Not a lot.
Dude, I asked a kid that the other weekend. He says, I got to the end.
That is crazy. That's a crazy response. Good for him
I've
having
never-
that queued up.
I've
That's
never
wild.
heard- Oh my god. So I figured out can't use that auger. Not enough.
Mm-mm.
So I rented one of
Do you
those
have
Bobcat.
rocks?
Yeah, I've rocks, clay, all of
There you
it.
go. There you
So
go.
I rented one of those Bobcats, dude,
Yeah.
and I was blasting. I got hole after hole after hole after hole.
Mm.
And then I invited Trish's dad over to play with the machine, and I couldn't get back on it because he was just like, yeah, I'll take care of the rest. All right, dude. I was going to give you 1 or 2 holes. I just wanted to show you the machine, but he just took it basically. I let him have it.
Let
Whatever.
the man bury his motorcycle, bro. It's
Yeah.
fine. Let it ride.
So then we cemented them. The posts are in. A lot of the rails are in. Dude, I was cooking.
Nice.
It's been 2 days, though,
Nice.
just grinding it out.
Yeah.
Is this for Draco's Kingdom?
This is going to be Draco's Kingdom. I got to put some chicken wire. It's not really chicken wire. It's a little thicker, but you put it on the inside.
Queen. Yeah.
Feels good, though. Feels good to do something like that because it is a task. People have their whole businesses around building fences. So it's not something that everyone can do.
Mm-hmm.
But I like things when you look at something and you're like, I could probably do that if I prepare correctly, if I have the right tools, set my mind to it, and I can do it. I love that, dude. That's what life's about.
Satisfying.
Good feeling.
No doubt.
So satisfying.
And, I'm pick and choose with it. You know what I mean? It's usually
Sure.
my typical like barometer for, okay, am I going to invest myself into this skill
Yeah.
set? Am I going to do it more than once? And if
Or-
something goes wrong, am I going to be
Mhm.
able to fix it and just do it because I did it to begin with? That's
Mhm.
big.
That's a good way to think about it. Mine is quite different.
Okay.
Mine is so the quotes I got were about 10 or 12 to 14 $1,000 all in. So I thought to myself, probably take me 3 days. Am
Yeah.
I making 20,000 in 3
Yeah.
days?
Right.
Am I making more
Good
being
thought.
out, or am I killing myself in money if I take 3 days off, or can I make more money if I put those 3 days in at work?
100%.
That's kind of how I.
Yep.
And I not there yet. We will be, but
Right.
not there yet. So
I think you have to couple that though with the cost to fix it mentality too, or
Yeah,
can I
sure.
fix it
Yeah,
myself?
it's a
'Cause
combination.
You don't want to waste 3 days and then you're still paying 11 grand with a bunch of holes in your backyard. You know what I
well, if I hit some pipes or wires, I might have
mean?
been there.
Yeah.
I might have been there. Good thing there's nothing back there, dude.
That's good stuff. I'm glad you made it through the ringer without, catching one
Yeah.
across the chin. Good for you.
Yeah, it feels good, man. How about you? What you been doing?
Let's go to Abe first.
Okay.
I was just at a beautiful wedding. One of my best friends got married last week.
Wedding.
I've been joking around. I think
Beautiful wedding, said the bridesmaid to the waiter.
I've
Sorry,
been joking around saying, no, you're good. This is the last wedding
She was
I'll
a
be
horse,
in.
right?
Poor guy.
Sorry.
Nah,
I think that's what they say. She's a
What
horse,
was it?
right? Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Go ahead, Abe.
I was just saying that.
Who sung that song? Panic at the Disco?
All right. I see what we're doing now. I'm picking up what we're putting down here. Whatever. My dumb joke's not worth it at this point. I was at a wedding. How about you, Mark?
That's what you get for taking vacation.
That Brendan Urie, one fine piece of ace.
He actually is.
Oh,
Great
yeah,
voice.
handsome
Voice
dude.
of our generation.
I
Do
don't
you
think
have-
they say that?
Do you have anything you want to say before we get into this, Storm?
Life is good. We'll talk about what we got going on later this week at the end, so stay tuned for that because we got some good stuff as usual.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got, dude?
All right. Well, we got some people that are pretty pissed off on the internet and they happen to be gamers. So I say, roll the clip.
Roll the clip. Yo, I'm starting to think that's cereal.
It is cereal.
It comes out of a cereal box. Why do you think they were peas then?
Okay, dude. Whatever.
What do you got,
Classic
Abe?
misdirection. Well, so this one boils down to like a kind of existential question about gaming in general. And the question is, has Fortnite destroyed the realistic shooter like game completely across the industry? Because Call of Duty just put out a new skin pack in there. I believe it's in Warzone. I didn't check for sure, but it probably is. But it's a new skin pack that they're calling the Extra Crispy Pack. And with this skin pack, you get the ability to have a skin for your gun that not only turns people into fried chicken when you kill them, but it also allows you to roast a chicken at the end of your gun and then eat it mid-game.
This is Call of Duty or this is Fortnite?
This is Call of Duty, and people are basically blaming Fortnite because of the wild success it's had, the ability for them to sell skins and monetize that with this cartoony, like more kid-friendly art style and things like that. They're saying it's just kind of taken the dark realism out of the modern shooter and just being replaced with gimmick after gimmick after gimmick to sell skins.
I got a whole diatribe, so you go first.
I would say. So, I mean, what you're saying here is Call of Duty's making some pivots that could be inspired by Fortnite. So, has Fortnite killed the realistic shooter genre? That's what you asked?
Basically, AAA studios, because they realize how much they can monetize skins and things when they're done in that same style, that's all they're producing now. They've gone away from the dark realism milsim style stuff, and they've gone completely to this cartoonish, outlandish stuff.
I don't know if it's. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would say they're taking inspiration, but I don't know if Fortnite's the reason that those games are dying. I think the audience is changing, not necessarily because of Fortnite, but when I would think of Call of Duty back in the day, this is so interesting because my dad wasn't really a gamer, but him and his buddies would go to his buddy's house, smoke weed, and play Call of Duty. And these guys were like 45, 50, 60 years old. And that was like 10 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if the audience of Call of Duty is like phasing out, but I don't think Fortnite killed it. I give a lot of props to Fortnite, though. I've talked to Markstrom about this many times. They keep dropping stuff, whether it works or not. They keep dropping stuff, and when you have a community, you have to keep feeding them. So I give a lot of props to Fortnite for that. And then shout out to our friend Javier, Monster D-Face. We were designing something, and he said, there's this Fortnite rule, basically, on a scale of 1 to 5 with realism. And he says, like, Fortnite is like a 3.5. Like, it's almost right in the middle, and that's kind of where you want to be. Because if you're, like, too realistic, it's you run into that uncanny valley, and you don't really... It's like, we know it's fake, but you're trying to make it look real. So Fortnite leans into that area, and I really like that as well. I think that's a great analogy from Javi. So shout out to Monster D-Face. But I don't think they killed it. I think the audience is just phasing out. But Markstrom might have a better answer than he's more into the gaming space.
Do you want to see the clip too, Mark, that I got here, or do you want to give your thoughts first?
I think we pass on shouting out whatever new content's in COD. COD has been a clown fiesta of a video game long before Fortnite ever existed. They moved away. I think COD 2 was probably the last one that had any attempt at, something being semi-realistic, as World War II style, Beach Normandy, Charlie map, kind of cool like that. But that was it, because since then it's a joke, and that's okay. Like, I don't think games have to be realistic for people to enjoy them. Games are meant to be fun. And I think there's a lot of games that are, that force the concept of realism at the expense of fun, and their
Like
own
what game?
downfall.
What game would
I'm
you
not
say?
thinking of any in particular. No, I don't. Nothing specifically comes to
No.
mind.
No.
So I think there's people who play Call of Duty live in a dreamland that the game is made for hardcore gamers / adults, and that they are also good at games because they are decent at Call of Duty. Call of Duty is created to make you feel like you're good despite being garbage. That is the entire model of the game. It's how the whole thing is designed. It's made for you to have moments of, what you think are brilliance, without continually getting shit on all the time. It's not.
That's so accurate in my like experience, actually.
Anyone can
That's
boot up
crazy.
COD on a controller and with aim assist, like get 2-3 kills in a row, no matter what, and you feel like I'm the man. You just get that drip of dopamine, and the whole thing is like scientifically broken down and developed with that in mind. It's a bunch of half gamers, mediocre gamers, people with not a lot of free time. And this is I'm not throwing shots here. This is people who aren't like, they don't play games all the time. They have a console and they play, and like the hour or two that they get every couple of days, when they're not working or in school, or you know what I mean? And like, that's fine. It's just casual central, but they have manipulated the game to feel like it's more serious than it is. And so when they see these things like the monetization go the route of something less than serious, there's like this weird disconnect, and they feel like the seriousness of their game, or what they are projecting is like their value, right, feels undermined to an extent. Why are they putting this goofy shit in the game where, I get in there and I fuck people up? You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of, and it's silly, obviously, but they ultimately are a greedy company that wants to monetize literally anything and everything. And if they have that ability and they think something is going to sell, they're going to put it in the game. And I definitely think like the roasting of the chicken is a shout to CS. CS has always had chickens in the game. They walk around multiple maps. And there was a recent update where when the bomb goes off and kills a chicken, it turns it into like a cooked chicken. And it's like a rotisserie all of a sudden. It's pretty funny. And it's like, I would have to assume like they're kind of playing on that a little bit, or that was somewhat of inspiration. I'd have to look at the thing to know for sure. But ultimately, like, the misstep to me is thinking that we can do everything that Fortnite can do while simultaneously not making a game that provides value. And if they did that, then they would get away with a lot more monetization. However, their monetization is constantly under scrutiny because they do the bare minimum when it comes to providing value for their consumer. So
I think a big thing is also there's ways to go about it and be on brand. And I would say this is probably not on brand, so it just feels weird. Like,
well, it feels forced, right?
Correct. That's exactly.
Honestly, I've seen some of the stuff that's been in the store since Warzone came out, and it's no holds bars. Like, it could be anything, man. No, like seriously, like there's no such thing as on brand anymore in COD, and that's fine. Like I don't think anything has to be like camo or whatever. You know, even you see even games like Escape from Tarkov. I hadn't thought about that so far this conversation, but Escape from Tarkov has, you know, like a certain amount of skins in the game, but they're all semi-realistic, right? They're not letting you wear like a pink overcoat. You know what
Sure.
I'm saying?
Yep.
You're not out there looking like Paddington Bear, right? So I get it. Like the realistic ones want to like kind of rein that in, but even Tarkov is always constantly like pushes just a little bit further, slow and steady, a little bit further, a little more off brand, a little more casual. And really, what it comes down to is when you have a game and you put it out to the world, you find your core audience, right? And these people rock with you, and you gain popularity. And as you continue to expand, you've already sold your game to the people who are in the niche that you've cornered, which was milsim, and then created your own niche of extraction, which constantly expands every day. And there's a lot of more casual games that funnel people into this extraction genre. And what you are looking to do is constantly just push the envelope of can we gain more piece of the pie here? How do we gain more piece of pie? And the answer is always casualize the game. Casualize the game. The most amount of people that are going to play it are going to be casual at the end of the day. That's just how it works. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. If you understand at the same time, you're undermining the ability of your core audience to enjoy it. So you have to pick and choose and like be very careful with your timeline with how you do that. I think there are a lot of missteps made, especially when it comes to Tarkov on this front. Like, I mean, we see this with like the Unheard of edition and all the things that they tried to put into the game. Like, hey, you can just randomly teleport your friend into the map at any time you want. Like, what? Like, what are we? It's insane, right? And it's like this undermines the value of everything that the game stood for to begin with. And they just like they don't care. You already own the game. You already bought all the micros that they were trying to like sell you. They already bought all the upgraded packages that they like basically force your hand into buying. And you've been juiced. You know what I'm saying? They already got your juice. They squeezed you good. They got your juice. And now they're just looking for new people to squeeze. And like I get it. But I think if you're a good dev, it doesn't have to be this way. A good dev figures out ways to make casual players feel good about playing their game through diversified experience.
I don't mean to. Do you want to keep going? I don't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna throw something in.
I just think like MMOs that are super successful provide a lot of different gameplay abilities that aren't strictly based on having the best gear by putting in the most amount of time and being able to kill the most amount of players. There are so many games that give value to people who are just not that guy. And that's fine. And giving them a crucial or meaningful role in whatever the game space is 1,000 times over possible. And I think it's regardless of genre, you can do it. You just have to give a shit. And it costs money to give a shit a lot of the time. It does. It costs money to give a shit. And so like it's all about your priorities.
That's so you said when you were like, how do you make more money? By casualizing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said, but the caveat on that is it wasn't alienating your fan base, but it was something about you have to realize your fan base wants something, and when you casualize it, that's not really what they want, but you're going to get more people.
They're going to move away from it. It is alienating for sure.
So there's another way. You could charge more, but then you have to keep the opposite in mind with take note of your fan base and make sure you're serving them to the best of your abilities all day, every day, because then you can justify charging more. I don't think many people do that. They might do the charge more thing without the second half of the plan.
Yeah, the whole provide value part.
Yeah, that part. So I think you could be successful doing that. I mean, companies do that. It's not just a video game thing. But
Yeah, so you're saying essentially to double down, serve your audience, give
even
them
harder.
more,
Yeah.
and then charge them more. And at that point, they're your people and they're well served. They're going to be happy to keep getting squeezed.
Correct.
I hear you.
I heard, I think it was Gucci, the
Gucci
CEO
Mane?
of no, not Gucci Mane. It was either the founder of Gucci or the founder of Chanel, and he was talking about the price of his products. And one of his mentors said, you can't have a luxury price tag without a luxury product.
Mm-hmm.
So that always just stuck in my mind because so many companies try to have this high ticket price without the high ticket item.
Right.
And the high ticket item comes from listening to your fan base and your community, providing for them, taking their feedback, molding the game into something they want, but also something that you say a lot, which is very important. You have to know how to sift out the shit, which I'm sure is very difficult when thousands, if not millions of people are shouting at you.
It doesn't have to be when it's literally your job to understand the decisions that get made in the design of the game and why they need to be made that way, and like the outcomes, right? But it makes me like curious, how do you where do you land on brands like Supreme? Like for someone like me who like is like the outside looking in on the fashion game.
Yeah,
that's a brand that puts a ridiculous price tag on something that really shouldn't cost that. Am I like off base there? No,
you are 100% on base, and I'm not into it.
Yeah.
But they do it. They hit the nail on the head. That is their brand.
Right.
Their brand is being so freaking out there and weird with putting their name on a brick or a fire hydrant, and with their fan base, they nail it every time. They actually put thought into it. I know that might sound weird, like just throw it on a brick. I would venture to guess, and probably take an educated guess, that there is thought into what random freaking object am I going to put this on? How am I going to release it? Which brand am I going to team up with? Which artist am I going to team up with to give it the biggest bang out there?
It's more so a media marketing play than anything.
Yeah.
And that's super fair. And I mean, obviously they have found a ton of success doing exactly that.
Crazy.
But it's really the culture that drives that as a possibility, right? It's like, I want to make it as loud as possible known that I was able to afford this thing.
Yep.
And
not just afford it, get it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I hear
like you. I got my hands on it.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother battle.
Right.
Because I mean, you can still make the afforded argument if you can buy resale, but like the people who are able to get the initial drop somehow, that's like a whole nother thing.
You got to know a guy, and
Yep.
I have no clue, man.
It requires the clout to right. Yeah, it's very goofy. To me, who's old, and I understand. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, like I get like I remember when I wore brands, and they are culturally identifying, and because I mean the brands that I wore were skate brands, right?
And Abercrombie and Fitch.
I did not necessarily wear the clothing outside of working at the store. I will say I wasn't really. I had like a couple of polos from my my shop budget, and I would just wear those when I went.
They had the moose, right?
That was the moose.
The moose knuckle.
Yeah, the moose was loose for sure.
Now, can I throw another title at you in the game space? And I'd like to see if the same theory applies. What do you think of what Battlefield did with 2042, where they went away from their nameless soldier, pick a role, more dark theme? They even pitched the newest game, 2042, as like this environmental apocalypse. Crazy storms are happening, resources are low. And then they added in these goofy characters that have skin packs that are goofy with you win the round and they say dumb little cheesy taglines. Because to me, that was going after a different audience and it fell flat. And that game crashed immediately on impact.
Yeah, I mean, it's your stereotypical moving super far away from what you're known for and what you're good at to chase the success that other people have found doing something completely different. And I that goes for games just like it goes for creators. If you just start doing some fucking random shit because one guy is doing it and he's successful at it, it's not going to work the same. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like these games, there's an expectation from your audience first and foremost, and theoretically, you should be good at what you do. And so why would you move away from that, especially if you have a fandom for people who enjoy what you have been doing consistently over time? It just doesn't make sense. That's like me booting up stream and just going right into gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
why? No, like that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like that would alienate my fan base. Like you know what I mean? It's the same thing. So, just because like some other people do it and you know what I mean? Like it works well for them. That's great. You know what I mean? They don't have like the interactive community podcast vibe that we have in the mornings. You know what I mean? And that's why they do
Makes
it.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Battlefield definitely is chasing. They like had 3 games up on a board, and they were like, "How do we replicate what they are doing?" And then they built their game out from there, like idiots.
What were the 3 games?
I would say Rainbow Six Siege for sure. I would say
Apex. I was thinking Apex.
Yeah, with the movement to an extent. Yep. And then I think like even they really wanted to have this like gritty survive the elements vibe to it. And there's been there's just countless games that have done that, but they wanted this whole like weather system, which they have implemented in the past successfully in a way that it made sense, right? If you remember Battlefield 4, they had like the tsunami map, right? That was really, really damn cool. So it's not like they hadn't done it before, but they just they took it way too far. And ultimately,
they threw a giant tornado in out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's very strange. I think what it comes down to is like when they launched that game, the maps were bad and the games were filled with bots. I think that game's ultimate design was savable even with these like pre-existing classes. But they just missed the mark entirely on the things that like really matter by chasing the things that didn't. And you know, like typical, right? Super deep into any long-standing titles, you know. I mean, what number Battlefield is this, right?
It's
8?
like 7 or 8, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So, I don't know. Unsurprising. It'll be interesting to see how they respond. From here, they originally responded by releasing like this almost like a Reforger type deal. Don't they have like this game mode where
yeah, it's like you could play like it used to be, but the problem with that is like you didn't gain XP and unlocks and crap like that because it was just
they created a shell of a useless game mode, and that's fine. I don't I mean the decision making doesn't make a lot of sense. Hopefully people get fired. Hopefully someone who gives a shit gets, you know, put in a position of power where they can do the right thing by the game. Because again, like I still think the Battlefield fandom exists, and they want, like, I think they're starved for something good, something akin to at least BF4, which, you know, I think is considerably like well regarded as like the last decent one. I think some people had some love for BF1.
Got okay. Yeah,
I personally thought 5 was unplayable, but again, like another title that moved really far away from what they're good at. So I don't know. I feel it's sitting in front of them for them to like take. Like I could draw out a diagram right now of exactly what needs to be done for Battlefield. So, you know, give me a call. I'm happy to tell you. I'm sure, but I'm also sure that thousands of other gamers are yelling at you daily about it. So at least the ones that are somehow, some way still fans.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
That's what we're gonna do.
All right. So yeah, I guess Call of Duty's got some changes to make. Maybe they don't make the changes. Maybe they just keep leaning into it and it turns into Fortnite too. Who knows? All right, what else we got?
Another quick one in the gaming world here. So we've talked about it before on here, but Helldivers 2, which actually grew to be PlayStation's fastest selling game ever. At one point had peaks of 450,000 plus players and stuff like that. All kinds of problems logging in at launch. It was so popular. They have now lost over 90% of their PC player base.
Yep, I'm in that 90%.
Probably as predicted by Mark when we originally talked about it, if we remember that conversation. But I actually looked at the numbers a little bit, and I mean, they're still getting between 25 to 35,000 concurrent players with peaks at 45,000. I think that's incredibly healthy for it's a co-op multiplayer shooter. Like, I think that's a pretty good healthy player base for a game like that, and that's just the Steam numbers.
Is there a way to keep doing insane numbers consistently if your game is not a PvP game
or even multiplayer?
Multiplayer PvP.
Yeah, I think like it is and isn't a live service game, right? I think like that's the key. Live service games basically have continual content updates. I think the thing that like really just crushed this thing out is obviously the issue with people. The scam that they ran, right? Yeah, which we don't have to get back into. It's just so incredibly disappointing of a topic. For PSN.
This is PlayStation.
Yeah, the PSN thing with the signups and yeah. So, I think that has like a huge part, obviously, in why this is the case. I think even without that, numbers are going to reduce dramatically for any game like this. It didn't hold my attention more than one play session. I have no idea how 35,000 people are still playing it, and that's fine. Yeah. Like, if you are really into that, like, they have 30,000 people across the world on PC that are really, really into it. And they just like, this is where they kick back and they co-op with friends, right? Like, and that's cool. Not my cup of tea, doesn't hold my attention. But this is going to happen no matter what. Just if they're not constantly pushing content, and that's why like games like Path of Exile and Fortnite are so wildly successful, is because they have scheduled content releases that really answer the right questions for a live service game, which is, how is this play experience going to be different this quote unquote season, right? And what am I working towards? And if you don't answer both of those things in a meaningful way, no one's going to keep playing your game. That's it.
Yeah, after I played this a couple times, I was like, this is just going to be the same thing over and over again. And the loading screens, oh my God. Either I have severe ADHD or it's just too long for me, man.
Like, give me a fidget spinner on there on that loading screen, man.
Oh, gosh. Get me in there, dude. It takes way too long.
Yep.
I fell out of it super quick, too. So it's not surprising. And then the whole PlayStation thing, like Markstrom said, is what it is. I wasn't expecting that game to stick around either, though. Had a lot of hype, though. That is for a development team to accomplish that amount of hype.
Yeah.
I'd walk away knowing, like, that is tremendous. And what did we learn? How do we bring it to the next project?
Yeah, I think there are definitely some great takeaways here. One is timing. There's people were giga starved when this game dropped for something meaningful to play outside of Baldur's Gate. And it's obviously a very different type of co-op game than Baldur's Gate. And then on top of that, it just had the right sense of humor for what people were looking for. And it was a game that was specifically made for the purpose of fun, right? Like it didn't take itself too seriously. There was no competitiveness to it. It was built for the casual gamer. And so it could encompass the most amount of people. And it had a pretty basic goal to it. It's like, go in there and kill all the bugs. Anyone could pick it up and understand what they were going to do and play. You know what I mean? It's like, for the people that wanted more difficulty, they could select into more difficulty, but you didn't have to. And that's what I mean by games have this, they have options when it comes to how do we make a game that can incorporate more types of players? All of a sudden, like, there were people who were pushing the limits of, we are going to take this on the hardest difficulty. Like, how do we do this? Like, let me get people who are super leveled up, and you know what I mean? And then they're theory crafting, like, you know, you take this perk, I take that perk, you know, and together we can run it.
Mhm.
That is in addition to the people who are having beers and not paying attention and getting each other killed. And that is in addition to the people who have this like community collaborative experience, which was really big and had a huge impact on people playing the game more than they regularly would have, is because they're looking at those like collaborative numbers for like bringing democracy to certain planets, right? And you can see like the bar and the progress, and it's all this whole push towards let's make this happen together. Very cool concept, right? I think I've seen people try to replicate this. Escape from Tarkov, for example, try to replicate this with an event, and it didn't work. Their tracking system didn't fucking work, and it was embarrassing, as most of their updates are. Yeah, you know, like, I don't think it will hit as hard when another game tries to like pick and choose that. So I wouldn't recommend it as like a selling point, but it was interesting, and it was at least novel at the time. So you're hitting all these different demographics of people who are playing and different reasons for them playing. And yeah, I mean, like, it's the perfect storm for it to have the success that it had until they shot themselves in the foot.
What else is new, dude?
What's new?
Tales old as time.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to contribute on it. It died, dude.
Well.
It took a nosedive.
Beauty
I
and the
haven't
Beast.
heard about it in a while, man. Long time. So it is what it is. And it's not just a Helldivers thing that they need to learn from. Sony as well with that whole thing.
Yeah, that was Sony's problem, not theirs.
So it is what it is, dude. See you later, Helldivers. We'll catch you next time. Helldivers 3? Maybe not.
Helldivers 3.
All right, what else we got?
I need your help with this one, Slum, because I know there was a pretty cool Unreal 5.4 update, and I don't know how to explain it, and you do.
It's not
I'm just gonna
necessarily an
bring the-
update, but yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
All right,
see, there you
so-
go. That's why I need your help.
For those viewing, or for those viewing, you're about to see it. For those listening, give it a play for me, Abe.
All right. Do you want?
So
want
this
volume?
is inside. Nah, you don't have to do volume. So this is inside Unreal Engine 4. Obviously, the graphics are freaking phenomenal, and you might recognize that guy. That's our boy JS Films. Shout out JS Films, always pushing the envelope. So you could see him face tracking at the bottom here. We see a shiny Bugatti and a great texture on all the walls and everything. But that's not what really I want to show you guys. The most interesting part about this is, do you guys remember? All right, press pause for me. Do you guys remember the HTC Vive?
Mm-hmm.
VR, right? They were like one of the first, I
It was
think.
the first really good one
Yeah.
that people were like, okay, what we've been waiting for is here. Let's buy it and see how she goes.
Yeah. And then what? They just kind of fell off in the VR scene, or what?
Well, I think the Index came out and basically replaced like that. That's what the high-end juicers wanted to get a lot of the time. That's what I bought, but I bought my VR 2 years after a lot of my friends who got the Vive. So
Yeah. So when the Vive was like phasing out, people were using sensors. They were getting their controller, not the sensors. They were using their controllers, and they were hooking it up into Unreal Engine, and they were creating virtual production with the controller and the base stations, because the Vive has these base stations you have to set up. So what you would do is, if you had a piece of gear, you'd put it on your shoulder, you'd have the controller mounted on it, and you could move around and have it connected to an Unreal Engine camera. And this is how you do virtual production. So what Vive did was create something called the Mars. They leaned into that their community. This is exactly what these game developers need to figure out how to do.
Yep.
They leaned into the feedback and how their clients were using their system even more than the normal VR. They were throwing it in Unreal Engine and using it for virtual production. So HTC Vive created the Mars, and it is specifically for virtual production. It comes with, I think they're called pucks, the sensors. So now you don't have to use the controllers. You put these sensors on your rig or in your hand or whatever. And I think it's either one base station, two, or you can have as many as you want for better sensing things. Yeah. And now it is literally for Unreal Engine or any other system, virtual production. So if you give it a play, Abe, you'll see as this guy moves his rig on his shoulder, it's connected in the real-time Unreal Engine. And you can probably give it a fast forward just to see where we're at.
That's right now.
No, that's in the. So you can see as he's
it's
moving around talking and his shoulders moving the rig, it's moving the camera real time in Unreal Engine. And look at the graphics. That's real time. But that's Unreal Engine. We already know Unreal Engine's freaking crazy. But this is virtual production. And the kit, I believe, don't quote me on this because I looked at it when it came out. And I think this is version 2. They were doing a sale for like $1,400. And that's not cheap at all. I know. But to use it in a free program to create movies, and then you bring your phone in to do free motion capture in your face, so you can have actors. You could, for people who make movies, they do something called storyboarding, and you draw scenes of a movie, right? So you kind of see, I want to do this shot, so you draw it out, next shot, draw it out, and now when you get to set, you can kind of see what you're shooting. Stuff like this, if you were to buy this, you can shoot the movie before you even get to the movie. If you still want to film in real life. Or you could just shoot the movie in VR, in freaking Unreal Engine. So I love this product. I don't have it. I would love to try it out. But I'm a big fan of this. And actually, I think Whiskey and Abe would love stuff like this. This is right up their alley.
Any bad ideas for the next piece?
So
please.
HTC Vive received a lot of feedback that when it was only a VR system, their customers were saying it doesn't work in Unreal like we want it to, and they're like, "Yeah, guys, we didn't really make it for that. I mean, I'm happy it sort of works for it to help you guys, but like we didn't make it for that." So now they're actually making a product for it, and I love to see it. They're listening to their clients and their customers, and they're creating good products. So I want to keep up with this, and I want to see where this goes. And I would actually like to get one of these, but we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell.
This is pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this is crazy.
It's amazing, and you can also have a monitor. So what you're watching, it's not his computer monitor. You can actually see what his phone is seeing. So he has his live viewfinder basically on his rig that he can look at. And if you want to get even more crazy, dude, you could do live green screen real time. So like you could have your guy in front of green screen, have your virtual environment, and you film a movie.
Right.
Like, dude, there is nothing. The $1,400 price tag could hold you back, sure, but other than that, there's almost nothing holding people back from.
You know, the barrier of entry gets lower every day.
Crazy, dude.
For something of just like insane quality, which is awesome. And I assume like use case for something like this Puck 2 is like not only are you able to, you know, kind of viewfinder it to an extent because like you're seeing what it sees and you know you're in it rather than in a 3D environment rather than looking at it on a screen when you're, you know what I'm saying, setting up your cam. But anything that's not tracked, it brings a level of authenticity to the shot, right? So yeah, I'm sure this adds a whole lot of depth that would be pretty awkward to try and replicate in a 2D sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And for people who, so you could skip the Vive and you could use your phone to do a similar thing, but with your phone, it's not as clean of a track and there's a lot of micro jitters. It might not even be from your hand. It's just from the phone, unfortunately. So this is, I really like that they're polishing this thing. And not only can you use the pucks to be a camera, you can make the puck track whatever you want. So a lot of people, people's whole business model in the Unreal Engine marketplace is to make things and sell them. I'm going to make animations and I'm going to sell them so that people like me don't have to create them. I can purchase them.
Right.
So a lot of people make animations interacting with things like a chair. So I watched this one guy, he put a puck on the chair and he put a puck on the ground on the foot of the chair. So now he puts a chair in Unreal Engine and he's got his mocap suit on and he can sit on the chair. He can move the chair accurately and everything is just perfectly lined up.
Right.
So you could put pucks on anything. If you get creative with it, you can do a lot of cool stuff. I love the business model of creating animations or maps and selling them on the Unreal Engine marketplace. People are making a bunch of money doing that. No one wants to create the stuff. Everyone wants to quick buy it, boom, I'm done.
Yeah.
So if you could build the skills to create stuff like this, you can make a lot of money.
Very cool.
Very cool. And again, shout out to JS Films, dude. He is really, really hitting it hard, just trying to keep at the forefront of this stuff. So we appreciate it. I appreciate it for sure. Keep doing your thing. All right, JS Films. What else we got?
All right. Well, we're going to jump from a company that does things kind of the right way and listens to people to one that does not. And the name shouldn't surprise you now, and that would be Netflix.
Oh, gosh.
Netflix has proceeded with plans that they already had in place, starting in the UK and Canada, to discontinue its cheapest ad-free subscription tier. That means that you will have 3 options moving forward in those countries. That will be their new cheapest version, which contains ads, a newly priced standard version, which is ad-free, or their premium version, which in addition to giving you, the same quality as a standard, it also gives you 4K ability. So Netflix has actually rolled this out by sending a message while you're watching it that will tell you exactly when you're not allowed to continue watching on your current subscription tier. So let me zoom in once too on this. It's not letting me zoom in any further. Cool. All right. It says your last day to watch Netflix is July 13th. Choose a new plan to keep watching. So in the UK, right now, the current edition is $7.99. I can't tell if that, I don't know the symbol for pound or euro, so it's either pounds or euros. It is pound. I figured it was because I knew they left the EU, but £7.99 per month, with the standard plan with adverts being $4.99 a month, or $10.99 for the new standard plan. So it's going up £3 a month. And then the premium plan costs $17.99 a month. In Canada, those same options, it goes from a standard $9.99 Canadian to, for their new standard, $16.49 Canadian, $5.99 with ads, or $22.99 for premium.
Since when is farming us for your ad revenue not enough?
Yeah.
Like how are people charging subscriptions and still blasting you with ads?
There's no way that it's not a net positive to just let people watch based on like their bandwidth and server capacity. Like if that's the case, if they're not making enough from the ads, then they're not doing a good enough job tracking and selling, like Twitch. You know what I mean? They're not fucking Googling it. I'm just saying, like
they are the king.
They are the king, dude. Yeah, but I mean, fucking 18 quid for 4K, which is like not new tech by any means, and is almost every new TV that you can buy. That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go into the 4K thing either way. I probably don't have that because I could care less. I'm a big fan of substance, and then quality of like pixel quality comes next. So I could suffer
all these new shows, like all of the Netflix, like a lot of the original content and things that are like the nice movies that are like the movies that are being made as like Netflix originals and all these things, they're all shot in 4K and they look amazing.
They might be shot in more than that, to be honest.
But they are streamed in 4K at the very least, and it's awesome. Like when you have a nice TV, you want to like, what are we doing here, man?
Sure.
But we're literally almost doubling the price. There's no way it's almost double the price for me to stream the 4K for them. That's not how it works.
Isn't it quadruple the amount of data potentially? Or no?
I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know the compression rate, but I do know that 1080 to 4K, I believe, is 4 times.
Yeah, I mean,
it might be 2 times. It might be 4 times. So I don't know about the compression rate and the data signal that gets sent out, but if it's was not 4 times,
I don't think it's like a linear, like, because I mean, like,
I would agree.
There's a lot of other costs involved, right? And a lot of it is just like base across the board. We will never know. We, the consumer, will literally never know. We don't get to peek behind the curtain like that because these companies are scumbags. And they know that, and they wouldn't dare.
It's starting to get cheaper, I think, to uncut the cord and go back onto standard cable.
Well, you can't do that either because there's no one in their right mind makes good content for that. It's been asked for 20 years.
No, I mean, you just gotta
going up.
You just gotta fire stick, crack it. That's it. We might have to go back to that, dude.
Disney Plus
Those
is
were
going
all right
up.
times,
Hulu's
I'll be
going
honest.
up.
Those were all right times.
Those were all
dude.
right times, dude.
Watch
Yeah.
find a streaming site for your sports. Watch.
Yeah, dude. You always had to
Go to
look over your
Reddit,
shoulders for the
some
feds
Reddit
coming in. Though.
streams.
I've never done anything like that. You guys are criminals. Wow.
All I'm saying, why is so? Here's I understand that companies have to keep up with inflation, so they have to charge a little more. You'd hope that everyone's getting pay raises and everything kind of works out, even though it doesn't. So these gigantic companies,
The
can't
shit
they
that
just
gets fatter is the margin. Let's
can't they just
keep it
once
a bean.
say, you know what, inflation's going up, but can't they just take the Arizona model?
No.
You know what, guys? We know inflation's hitting hard. It is freaking hitting. We're going to keep our price. And you know, down the line in a few years, we're going to come back to you and we're going to ask you for a little more support. But right now, we're going to help you.
Arizona model can do that because it's like a family that privately owns a brand. And
Yeah.
it's not, they don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not the same as Netflix and their fucking shareholder meetings and with projected earnings that they have to have in the green every quarter. And how do we milk these idiots for more money?
Dude, these guys, they're hopping on the lifeboats and they're stealing the silverware from the Titanic before it sinks. These people are just extracting so much capital.
Yeah.
And listen, dude, when things go south and it's wasteland, let's just say, you know, I'm not going to continue this sentence because I'm not sure about YouTube's policies. So I'm going to actually stop there. I don't
We
want
see
to
where you're
continue.
heading. We get the message.
We got it. We got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got it.
You can't, I don't endorse violence, and I'm pretty sure YouTube does not do that either. So
You know,
I'm gonna
dude, shout
discontinue
out
that.
to Costco once again, because that hot dog is still $1.50 for that combo.
Shout out, bro.
They don't give a shit about inflation.
Call me the glizzy gobbler.
I've never had one. And you are the glizzy gobbler. I've
Dude,
never had a Costco hot
It's
dog.
the greatest deal ever.
I don't think I've
greatest
been.
deal
I only been to BJ's.
Yeah.
Never Costco's.
We got
Next
both
time
here.
you come
we're
through,
blessed.
we'll hit Costco. We'll get all the samples, bro. We'll make a day of it.
Love it.
Amazing. Take a
I'm
nap
hyped,
in
dude.
one of the loungers, then hit the food court, then get a little soft serve, dude. It's gonna be insane.
Okay. Dude, screw Netflix. I mean, they have a great product, but come on, guys. Get your shit together. You gotta, they know that they have the market cornered. They definitely know that. But
Yeah, bro, I can
the
only
other
watch
hand,
Love on the Spectrum in one place, man.
is that real? Is that Autism Love Show?
Yes.
Yeah. I think Chuck's on this season.
Yeah.
I'd
Very
rather
exciting.
see
Shout out, Chuck.
I'd rather see Down syndrome Love on the Spectrum.
They have
type
that
thing.
too, bro.
They have that.
Oh, that
too.
show
It's
is
only
probably
in
great.
Aus-
Those
think
are the
it's only in
happiest
Australia.
people, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Prime is coming out with heaters. They got The Boys. They got other stuff on there that I can't
Tell you
remember.
what,
but
man, boys, way downhill for me. And
really,
yeah, and the Generation X,
it's V.
V, whatever.
Yeah, or 5 or V.
Okay. The one of the main characters died IRL.
Which one?
Oh.
The black guy died IRL in a motorcycle
Oh,
accident.
he was about to have a good arc.
Yep, it's literally the best arc in the entire show.
Oh, damn.
So
That's a shame. Poor guy. I'm sorry. My
Yeah.
condolences.
For real.
That's 2 shows down the shitter for Prime. What else they got?
Jack Ryan. They got Jack Ryan. That's a good show.
You didn't mention the boys already.
I'm sure
Don't sleep on Jack Ryan, dude. Krasinski goes hard.
I like the premise of the Jack Ryan and all those types of shows, like the Mission Impossible type stuff. I'm a big fan of those types of things.
I
Never
can't
gave
watch
Jack
them.
Ryan a shot though.
You're thinking of Jack Reacher.
Jack
which is more,
Reacher. Same thing,
Jack
though,
Ryan
right?
Jack Ryan's a little bit more like spy thrillery than those. It's not as much action. Well, season 2 is a little leading into that
Same
a little
thing.
more, but very good show. Trust me.
Same thing. Witcher was on Prime, I believe.
No,
Oh,
that
and
was Netflix.
That was
And they
Netflix.
shit.
Yep.
The Boys.
Yeah,
That's
you
dead.
did mention the boys. Yep.
Oh, all right. All right, whatever. Netflix, come on, stop charging more. I don't know what else to say. I don't know if they listen to me, dude. I don't know if I got that pull over
You know,
there.
they're not gonna
honestly,
listen.
the platforms that honestly only heaters for the most part, mostly heaters, we'll call it.
Crunchyroll?
Yeah, sure. Shout out Crunchyroll. HBO.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So many great shows all the goddamn time. Shout out House
Yeah.
of Dragons. Amazing. Literally
Yeah.
bringing Game of Thrones back to what it should be. Like,
Is-
way
how
to
many
double
seasons are
down on
they
the
at?
shit that's good.
They're on the second season.
Season 2 is out
Oh, okay. All right.
or releasing currently.
I might need that login again.
You're still on there.
I appreciate
I
it.
see your account. I mean, well, hold on.
We're not
let's-
sharing accounts, HBO. That's a lie.
Yeah.
You gave props to Elad in chat said Apple TV. You gave a
Apple
shout out
TV.
to a
That
show
was
on
next.
Apple TV.
That was next for me
Cool.
is Apple TV. There's a bunch. now, but I think my favorite's Succession. We're definitely waiting on Succession. Or not
Mhm.
Succession. Sorry, that was a good show.
You're talking about the one with the where you go to work or whatever,
Separation. It's
something like that.
Hold on,
I'll find it.
the chat will have it in a moment. There's
What?
surely
Separation. Are we talking about Apple TV?
Severance.
Banger.
With the dude from Parks and Rec, Ben
Yeah,
Savage, right? Isn't that his
amazing.
name?
That show is one of my favorite sci-fi
Very
shows. They
good.
also have another great sci-fi show that has the chick from Dune. She's
Zendaya?
No. The other chick.
There's another chick in Dune.
Yeah, Timothy
Quite a few,
Chalamet's
actually.
mom.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah,
mother.
she turned out to be
Crazy.
I didn't like her.
Rebecca Ferguson. Shout out Rebecca Ferguson. Silo. Amazing.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
watch Silo.
That's like the underground thing, right?
Gotta watch
Yeah, that one
Silo.
is good. That one is
So good. Foundation series is on there. I am not watching it because I watched some of it and then I realized that it wasn't going to be what I wanted it to be, and that's okay because it's my favorite book series of all time, and it is what it is. You know, it's one of those. The book is better, Slum, trust.
So speaking of, just a quick sidetrack, and then we'll do one of the last topics. We can pick which one. You always say that the book better than the movie type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to Harry Potter's right now.
Oh, an audiobook?
On audiobook.
Is it the guy? Like, is it the guy? You would know.
I mean,
is he doing a killer job?
It's a guy, yeah. And he's like doing all the different voices.
It's by far one of the best voiced audiobooks of all time.
All right. Well, I fell asleep. I do it before I go to bed. So I'm in like chapter 2 of the first one. And I'll probably go back a little bit, but we'll see. I love Harry Potter the movie, so I'm
Harry's
excited.
a wizard, so spoiler alert.
Harry Potter.
I don't know if you got that part yet.
Come to die.
Avada
Oh, dude, you got
do it.
relax with that.
I feel like you could do it, to be honest.
Bro, you don't know if that shit'll work.
I doesn't have a twig
Calm
in my
down,
hand,
dude.
Yeah, the guy's name is Dale something.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
narrator
that's
you
him.
want, Dale.
That's
Yeah,
him.
Dale goes crazy.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it is. All right. Anything left on Netflix? Or
No.
what do
We can stop talking about this.
The other show that I wanted to shout out, this isn't from me, it's from my pops. Shout out my dad.
Mm-hmm.
My dad. He's been telling me to watch Dark Matter on Apple.
Dark Matter.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that one.
I'll give it a look.
He's yelling at me every day to watch it, so
All
I
right.
haven't yet.
I'll give it a look. Got to get that fire stick first. All right. What do we got next?
All right. Well, we have a choice between two. I really want to get the last one, so I'd prefer we do that one because this is wild and.
Well, let's do it. Let's get it in before we
I'll-
go on vacation again.
I'll take your word for it. Let's do it.
All right. So researchers in China at the Tianjin
Dang.
University. Sorry if I butchered that.
No, perfect.
They have been doing research where they essentially grow human brain cells on a microchip, and then utilizing a new technology called MetaBOC, they can actually teach the brain cells how to do functions within computers and things like that. It originally was being done at Monash University in, I believe, Australia, but they put it in a simulated environment in Australia. When they did it, the human brain microchip in 5 minutes learned how to play Pong all by itself. And what China is attempting to do is essentially grow these artificial brain chips and use them and teach them how to control robotic bodies.
Yeah, of course.
So they're working on this as a way to rehome human brain cells in artificial bodies, and I'm sure also like create the army of the future that's going to kill us all or something like that. But this is wild. I have some of their concepts for what these things look like. So you have a couple here, and there's more kind of this repeated.
That's ugly, dude.
Well, they have a mask that goes around the front of that too.
They got to get
I
Apple
get
on
it,
that.
but like maybe
you go.
they're just trying to make it look cute, so we're not worried.
Not terrified,
Yeah.
but this is legitimately to me one of the creepiest, coolest, and scariest things I've ever heard of.
So they're growing a brain?
So they essentially grow the brain cells on top of a microchip and then
Okay.
use this program to then teach them how to function.
That's interesting.
This is RoboCop, basically.
So what is? No, it's not, because RoboCop started out as a human. So wherever
that's
the
what they're
debate,
they're planning to get to RoboCop. Right now, they're
No,
growing
you
these
can't.
brain cells, but they want to
If you
rehome.
grow it, you can't get to RoboCop, because RoboCop started out as a human with wherever you guys think whether it's the soul or the conscience
You ever
or
see those
whatever.
RoboCop deleted scenes?
I have seen them. Those are good, right?
Those are good.
Those are great.
Can we play that real quick?
I don't think we can play that. It's still on YouTube.
Look it up sometime, Chad. It's worth it.
You can't. These things won't have what I think is a soul or the voice in my head. And so
Consciousness.
I'm confused on why they'd grow brain cells as opposed to just building a machine.
It's because they learn, according to the article and stuff too, at a rate that's exponentially greater than even
More
artificial intelligence can.
neurologically adaptive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. So Australia got freaked out, so they sent it to China?
No, they actually turned it over to their military, who then funded it further and have been conducting further testing.
So here's the scary part. Now, you see China doing stuff like this. As an American citizen, do you want your government to be doing crazy stuff like this as well behind the scenes, or do you think this is not good and shouldn't be done?
Got to keep up.
Got to keep up or be ahead? I'd prefer the second one.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But also, like, something tells me that this kind of research is, like, at least we are attempting to monitor closely.
Oh, I'd hope.
Yeah.
What I think from this is like the ability to grow brain. So someone gets half their brain blown off, can you treat it like stem cells and just shoot them up there and grow your half brain back?
Well, I think their plan is for if half your brain gets blown off, if they're able to keep some of it and replicate those cells into a microchip, now they transplant that person into a robotic body.
What about the brain has separate not compartments, different sections, right? The frontal lobe, the whatever other
A lot
lobe.
of different parts. Yep.
So how are those axons and neurons or whatever they're called, how are those differentiated? If they're
In the
just
way that they
growing-
work together on a cellular level, they're all similar.
Sure.
But it's how they collaborate with one another that actually changes things. Like that
So do you
gives
think
them
they-
function.
Do you think they are capturing that, or
I
do you
don't
think they're just growing a big blob of brain cell?
I think they're making it so that they're making something that has the ability to have a wetware component interface with a computer electrical signal. And as long as it does that, then they can build up from there, right? In a piecemeal fashion. I would assume that that's the idea. And to see, like, okay, when they say learn, I think what they really mean is like it interfaces with a piece of wetware that has the capability to play Pong. I don't think that this human brain cell that's interfacing with this computer is like actively learning in the sense that we expect when somebody says that. I think that's like a bit of a reach. And I can't say for certain, but my assumption is that there's the way that it interfaces is way more on the computer. Like, I don't think like the inputs are coming from this random human brain cell. Does that make sense?
Well, I would say so. I'm looking at it as like reading and writing, like a
I think
hard
it's
drive.
transferring data.
I would think what's transferring in this case, the chip is transferring to the brain.
Yeah.
Because the brain is just a blank slate they're growing.
Yeah.
So you're saying they figured out how to write onto a brain?
Yeah.
That's not okay. That is not okay, dude.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Elon says his doesn't write onto the brain yet. It only reads.
Yeah, but we're
So
talking
is
about
he
like
lying?
individual cellular, like it's not the same. To perform function that isn't just a repetition of a electrical signal is
Yeah.
different. You know what I mean? It's not the same. It's
You're
just-
not sending it coordinates, go follow this coordinate and do a task when you get there.
or to like literally create something internally and then and have it be interpreted in any way, shape, or form. It's literally just, I think it's playing telephone right now.
Okay. All right, dude. We got to keep our tabs on this one.
And honestly,
Hmm.
that's probably just a little wishful thinking, but that, we could all use that sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm nervous that you won't know your own thoughts.
I don't care. Keep me plugged in.
Oh my god, dude. No.
We'll go right back to it, man.
Whatever. Anyway, boys, this has been a great freaking episode.
Mm.
Storm, what do you
Yeah.
got coming up, dude? I know you always got exciting stuff. There's something good coming up this weekend, isn't there? Friday?
Two things.
What do we got? Okay.
Three things. Holy
Okay.
shit. Three
Always.
things. Crazy. First and foremost, Power GPU sales happening right now. Shout out, #@ sponsor of mine, Power GPU, best place for pre-builds right now. Save $100 on your rig, and then an additional 50 if you use code MSTV at checkout.
Fat sale.
Lasts until the 10th, I believe.
The 8th.
The 8th. Good work.
It's your sponsor, but don't worry about it.
No, it's good. On top of that, we have a monitor giveaway that you have one more day left to enter. You can still enter Thursday, July 4th. Happy 4th of July, by the way. Shout out all of the U.S. homies.
Let's go.
Eagle screech overhead.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. That giveaway is for a BenQ monitor. You can see it on my twitter.com/MarkstromTV. It's linked a couple of times. Check it out. Very simple to enter. Juice up. Shout out BenQ. Friday is FBF. It is a celebration. First Friday of the month, and we are going to get very, very weird. Media share, drinking games. Come through. Come hang out. Twitch.tv/Markstrom. There you go.
It's Friday. Ain't got shit to do.
Ain't got no job.
Come through. Abe, how about you, dude? What's going on?
Well, in addition, as always, to be a moderator on the stream during those types of events, I just want to give everyone a quick shout out and just a care of caution. Enjoy the holiday tomorrow. Please show up to stream with all your fingers on Friday. Okay,
10 digits.
Yeah, Friday. We want 10 digits on every sub and community member on Friday. Please don't blow up your fingers. But yeah, I'll be moderating that stream and joining in, dropping some dumb videos and stuff. It's always fun. Please come by and hang out. And that's pretty much it. No vacations planned.
That's crazy, dude. I just broke my keyboard, by the way, so I'll figure out how to work that.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Dude, what a fun episode. I freaking love doing this stuff, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little upset that we missed last week, but I appreciate you guys' ability to pivot. So thank you for that. This has been Plug Podcast. We do this every Wednesday, unless Markstrom has a baby, Abe goes on vacation, or I ask them to pivot, which I appreciate. So would you kindly share this YouTube channel, subscribe to this YouTube channel, share with your mom, your aunt, your uncle, your brother, your sister, whoever. If they sub, we'll come up on their feed and they might click it and be like, they're talking about some interesting stuff. I didn't know they were doing that in China. We're keeping you posted. Because when they start sending those robots over here, we'll be the first to let you know. So, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. This has been another wonderful, wonderful, wonderful episode of the Plugged Podcast. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Deuces.